What is good, beautiful people? I made around $10,000 today using this approach. This is how I do my top-down analysis from daily bias to marking out my key levels and then looking to trade from those levels. So this is going to be from A to Z video. Like if you have no system, after you watch this video, you will have a system that you can use every single day and with very high probability. All right. So the very first thing that I do, guys, is I look at the previous day's cash session volume profile. What is a cash session? It is a volume profile that starts from 9:30 a.m. till 16 New York time. Okay. So in simple words, you want to draw out your volume profile from the previous day, on the previous day, from 9:30 till 16. Okay. So this is step one, finding your bias, right? And it's quite simple. So we mark out the previous day cash session volume profile. So it's going to look something like this, where we have the volume profile, right? Like this. And let's assume that we have the value area high up here and the value area low down there. And we got like point of control. So this right here is called balance. Okay. Anything outside is called imbalance. So we want to focus on the balance of the previous day, the value area high, the point of control, and the value area low. Now, the next day, which is our trading day, we want to see one thing. Do we open the New York session? Does it open below the value or above the value or inside the value or the balance, right? So this is balance, value, whatever you want to call it. And that is one, confluence that, okay, we could be bullish or bearish. So assume that we open below the balance of the previous day's New York session, cash session, right? Which is from 9:30 till 16. Our bias is going to be bearish. With this simple trick, guys, if we open below it, right, the next step is quite simple. I wait for price to retrace back into the value, which is the value area low. So I look for confirmation with order flow at around this level on the 1 minute, or if price decides to retrace back deeper, we have the point of control. And in extreme cases where we retrace back all the way up to the value area high, that's where I look for short setups. I avoid taking long setups when we open below the previous day cash session value. Okay. That is one confluence. The second confluence is looking at the previous 2 days and seeing the value shift. Is the value shifting lower or higher? So let's say this is Tuesday. On Monday, we had volume profile around here, right? And we have the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control. Again, this is cash session, guys, which is from 9:30 till 16. So on Monday, we had the value here. On Tuesday, we shifted lower. So that means that our bias for the third day is going to be bearish. So when you have this, and also we open below on the trading day, we open below the previous day cash session value, that is a it can give you like very strong conviction that we're going to be bearish for the day. All right. So pretty much this is how I find my bias, right? Now, the next step is just looking at the gamma levels and the gamma regime, right? So if our gamma regime is positive, we can expect failed auction setups to play out. So imagine we open here, right? So we open below the previous day cash session, right? And we go up and retest this. Now in a positive gamma regime, we are not going to break out of this, right? We're not going to go up like this. We're going to retest this level, and the resistance, this is like acting as a resistance, right? It's going to hold the price down. However, in a negative regime, if we see price breaking above the value area high on 3 or 4 or 5 minute time frame with aggressive buyers, then we can assume that we can see breakout until the point of control, or the value area high, and then we can see some form of reaction, right? So to know the gamma regime, what I use is Mentor Q. So pretty much this is how I use Mentor Q, right? If you want to get this, there's a link down in the description. You can get up to 30% off. So they have this AI tool, which has like entire library of all the information about gamma, right? And you don't really need to like get confused when you're looking at it manually. You can just ask it like this. So I might just leave this prompt in the comments. So ask NQ1, intraday 0DT and NetGEX breakdown. What are the key support resistance zones? And GS regime pro today is currently 9. So I tell it the time, the current time just before the market open, and the current level that we are trading at, right? So it gives me all the detail. But the most important thing what it does, it just gives me this simple bottom line and also the 0DT watch points, right? So for today, the bottom line was you are trading at the pivot point in a negative gamma territory, right? So I know that we're going to see expansion moves, right? We're not going to see consolidation. We are in a negative gamma regime. So we're going to see price, being aggressive either to the upside or to the downside. But since our bias is bearish, right? Because we pretty much opened below the cash session of the previous day. I'm going to show you in the deep charts tool when I get into it later on in the examples. But it told me that the session outcome hinges on whether the 28,000 holds as a floor, which means a support level, and we can then bounce up to 28,500, or if 28,000 breaks with conviction, we can see acceleration to 27,500. Okay, so let's go and mark out the 28,000. Okay, so right here, 28,000 was somewhere around here. So let me just mark that out. Okay, cool. So this line over here. Now, before the market opened, we were just consolidating around this key level, right? But after the New York open, before that, you can see that we had a very high conviction break below this consolidation, below that key level. So that just tells me that we're going to push lower, right? So with this in mind, guys, I promise you, this is how I approach the markets. If you want my personal model, this is it. I'm teaching you right now. And if you can learn this, I promise you, you wouldn't have to worry about it. So first step, guys, we identify our bias. Then we confirm the levels, right, by asking Quinn on MentorQ, hey, this exact prompt. I'm going to paste it in the comments, all right? And pretty much it just tells me every single detail, right? You can read it. If you can pause the video and you can read everything, and it's super, super accurate, okay? Super accurate. It's not like a ChatGPT or Claude AI type shit. It's actually trained on this. It's a quant, okay? AI quant, you can say it. So pretty much this trade played out perfectly, right? Didn't exactly go towards the 500s, right? 27,500, but almost around that level, and then we reversed. So let's go to the deep charts, and I'm going to break down the trade, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples that uses this framework. All right, guys, so I'm going to give you guys some examples, starting with the trade that I took today. So first thing first, we want to look at the bias stuff, right? We want to know our bias. So what I do is when I have the deep charts open, I go to the new price chart, CME, and Q, right? Then I click here, right click, go to templates, load, go to shared, then go to full versions, Fabio, NQ, and ETH profile, okay? So what it's going to do is only going to present you with the previous day's cash session volume profiles and the current day, right? So going over here, right? This is the current trading day. This right here, okay? And look at the previous 3 days. So the value is constantly shifting lower. So over here, we have the value. Then we have value shifting lower. The point of control goes lower. The value area high, value area low goes lower. On Monday, we had value shifting lower. And on top of that, we have a B-shaped volume profile. So, and also we opened on this day, the Tuesday, which is the current day, below the value of the Monday, okay? So right off the go, I had the value area low marked out. So I had this level marked out as a red line. Now I go to the actual chart, and I right click and draw tools from other charts, right? And now we have our chart. So let's go to 9:30 right over here. And also let me pull out my template, which is the the big trades template that I've created for myself. So let's just go back to 930. Cool. So this is the value area low of the previous cash session. Also, we know that we are in a negative gamma regime. And also, we broke below the key level that the mentor Q told us to, okay, to look for. So right at the open, if you can see, at 9:30, we go up, retest the value area low of the previous cash session. We opened below the previous day cash session. The value shifting lower. Everything is telling us to go bearish, okay? Even mentor Q. Since we broke that key level, we are bearish. Now, at the retest, we don't see any aggressive sellers. However, with this candle, we see aggressive sellers, right? So these red boxes over here, or red bubbles, you can say, we see aggressive selling. So that is my trigger, okay? I take a shot here, I put my stops right above here, and I pretty much just ride the move. There was a second entry that I also took. So right here at this level where we had aggressive sellers, we see buyers coming in. So a lot of these green bubbles, so they're getting absorbed. When there's a lot of buyers, but there's no follow through, so you can see how many buyers we have here, 101 contracts, 80 buy contracts, 82 buy contracts, but price is not moving up and it's at the key level. So it's not going up. It means that the buyers are getting absorbed by passive sellers. And then right away, we have a bearish candle with aggressive sellers and absorbed buyers. So we have a bearish candle, but we had buyers in this candle and also over here, and we have aggressive sellers in the candle of this candle, right? So that is a short position, and that was pretty much my trade. So again, guys, three things that I look at, right? I look at the value shift. So are we shifting lower? Is the value shifting lower for the previous days? So if I look at the previous 3 days, we are shifting lower. And the second thing that I look for is the open, the New York open. Do we open below or above it? If we open above, let's say we open here, then that is most recent information for me. And I'm going to just completely avoid this information over here. And I'm going to stay bullish, okay? What if we open inside the balance, right? So we open inside here, then those are the best conditions for failed auction setups, meaning that we go above the value area high, right? And then we go down towards the value area low, and we pretty much just consolidate. So when we open inside the value, it means we can consolidate, right? So since we opened below the value of the previous day, we had a key level, and then we see a reaction from that, and we were in a negative gamma regime, which means in a negative regime, we see our trend-based market condition, volatile markets, right? Those are best for trend following, volatile expansion moves, right? 128, 127 RR. When in a positive regime, you can expect failed auction setups, so consolidation, balanced price action. So let's move on to another example now. All right, guys. So here is an example from Monday, and I took this trade and posted it on my Instagram. So on Monday, I asked it, hey, intraday levels and NGX breakdown for NQ. What are the key support and resistance zones, right? So it pretty much gave me every detail, right? And if I go here, the bottom line, which is the favorite part, right? You are in a negative GX day with high IV. The setup favors directional breakouts, not consolidation. So again, it's telling me, hey, only look for breakouts and not like failed auction setups. The key inflection is 28,500. Test whether dealer's shotgun hedging creates a floor, and 28,000, blah, blah, blah. Watch for the first clean break below 28,500. So this over here, that's when acceleration begins, right? It's literally giving me everything that I need to support my plan and support my bias. So remember, 28,500. So let's mark out 28,500 around here. Cool. So this yellow line over here is the 28,500, right? So initially at the market open, which is at 9:30, we open here and then we go here. And since we are only looking for like breakouts to the downside, right? And our bias is bearish, on the 1 minute, we don't have a break below it, right? So we have a wick, but we couldn't break below it, right? But then notice what happens. We break through it, right? Break through the 28,500 level. Then we come back up and retest that zone to the tick. And right after seeing these aggressive sellers stepping in, that is my short position, okay? There's a lot of buy imbalances being created here, and they got absorbed. We have aggressive selling stepping in, so that is the short right here. Stops right above here. Actually, my stops were a bit further above these aggressive sellers, so this right here. And now notice, what is the target, okay? So I ask it, hey, where can we go? Okay, so it says if we break 28,500, acceleration into put support, no real resistance until 28,000. So it tells me next level is 28,000. And guess what? Where did the price go? Let's just go here. 28,000 is right here. Look at that, guys. And right after hitting 28,000, we reverse back up. So isn't that amazing, guys? All I'm looking for is my key levels, my bias, and I'm seeing big orders, right, on deep charts. If you want to get deep charts, there's a link down in the description, up to 30% off as well. Of course, you can use any other tool out there, but this is like user-friendly and all that shit. So, hey, the point of this video is to just show you my live trades as well from now on, and also like how I look at the markets with discretion rather than just like mechanically all the time. And pretty much with the help of like MentorQ, it gives you a clean plan. If that plan supports your overall bias, right, it just kind of like fuels, like it's a cherry on top. And yeah, if you want to learn more, there's a link down in the description. You can join us. I live trade every week, like Tuesday and Thursday, and then there's educational streams on Wednesday and Friday. So it's like I'm keeping a balance, right? And everything is just perfect right now. The market conditions are looking really strong. They're still not the best, but absolutely beautiful. Anyways, that's going to be it, guys. If you are confused, ask some questions in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Please ask good questions. Don't be dumb, okay? Don't ask me about volume profile because I have a lot of videos on volume profile on my YouTube, and also about the absorption. I have a bunch of videos on absorption and order flow. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.